I should have known something was wrong when the humans started laughing. My name is Vorn, and I am, or rather was, the chief weapons technician aboard the Caldrith Empire's flagship, the Endless Verdict. 23 years of service. 17 successful planetary sieges. 0 equipment failures on my watch. My record was perfect, absolutely flawless, until the day we encountered Earth. The planet killer cannon, our pride, our ultimate weapon, our you will surrender or become dust conversation ender, had jammed. Not a minor jam, mind you. The entire firing sequence had locked up tighter than a Vraxian credit vault. 400 tons of precision Caldrith engineering, powered by 3 fusion cores, capable of cracking a planet's crust like an egg. It wouldn't even initialize the target acquisition protocol. Commander Thex was, to put it mildly, displeased. Vorn. His voice crackled through my communicator, each syllable dripping with the kind of rage that typically preceded demotions. Status report. Now, I stared at my diagnostic panel, watching error codes cascade down the screen like a waterfall of professional humiliation. Sir, the primary capacitor chain has experienced a critical cascade failure. The magnetic containment field is oscillating at 0.003% outside acceptable parameters, which has triggered the safety lockout on the plasma injector assembly. And, well, I trailed off, already doing the math in my head. 6 hours minimum. Probably 8. How long, Vorn? 8 hours, sir. Maybe 10 if we encounter secondary complications. The silence that followed could have frozen hydrogen. We are currently, Thex said, his voice dropping to that dangerous whisper that made junior officers update their resumes, in orbit around a Class C civilization that has just refused our surrender terms. We have told them they have 2 hours to comply. 2 hours, Vorn. Not 10. I understand, sir, but the safety protocols alone require? Then disable the safety protocols. Sir, with respect, the last time someone disabled safety protocols on a planet killer cannon, the resulting explosion created what the Yorthak now call the Screaming Nebula. It's still screaming, sir. We can hear it from here. Another silence. I could almost hear Thex's mandibles grinding together. Fix it, Vorn. I don't care how. We have a human prisoner in detention block 7. I've heard these creatures are somewhat resourceful. Perhaps they can assist. I blinked all 3 of my eyes in sequence, a Caldrith expression of profound confusion. Sir, you want me to ask a primitive alien to repair our most advanced weapons system? I want you to fix my cannon technician. If you need to consult with a dancing Blornak to do it, then bring me a dancing Blornak. Thex out. The communicator went dead. I stood there, in the cannon control room, surrounded by blinking error messages and the quiet hum of a very expensive, very broken weapon. Then I did what any sensible Caldrith would do. I went to find the human. Detention block 7 smelled like recycled air and poor life choices. The human sat in the center of the containment field, looking remarkably unconcerned for someone whose planet was approximately 1 hour and 47 minutes away from geological restructuring. I said, deactivating the field. Come with me. The human stood up. He was tall for his species, wearing what remained of some kind of blue working uniform with a name patch that read Marcus Holt, engineering specialist. His face did that weird thing humans do where they bare their teeth, which I had learned was somehow not a threat display. Finally, Marcus said, I've been waiting for someone to ask. Your detention cells have terrible Wi-Fi. What's Wi-Fi? Never mind. So let me guess. Something broke, and nobody can fix it, and now you need the primitive alien to bail you out? I felt my dorsal ridge flush purple with embarrassment. The planet killer cannon has experienced a technical malfunction. Marcus's expression changed. His eyes, those strange forward-facing predator eyes, widened slightly. Wait. You broke the doomsday weapon? The one pointed at my planet? And you want me to help you fix it? The situation is more complex than. Oh, this is beautiful. Marcus started making that barking noise humans call laughter. This is absolutely perfect. You're telling me that your massive space empire, with your fancy ships and your gravity manipulation and your we're so superior attitude, can't fix your own gun? The technical complications are highly specialized. And how long do you have? 1 hour, 43 minutes. And how long would it normally take? I hesitated. 8 to 10 hours. Marcus laughed harder, slapping his hand against his leg in what appeared to be genuine amusement at our impending diplomatic disaster. Oh man, your commander is going to look so stupid when you miss your deadline. Will you help or not? Human? Marcus stopped laughing. His face settled into an expression I couldn't quite read. Sure, I'll help. On one condition. You're not exactly in a position to negotiate. Neither are you, buddy. You've got 90 minutes until your boss has to call Earth and say, sorry, our death ray is in the shop. Can we reschedule the apocalypse? So here's the deal. I fix your cannon. You let my planet go. No invasion. No surrender demands. No nothing. You just leave. That decision is not mine to make. Then get someone on the line who can make it, because otherwise I'm going back to my cell to contemplate the irony of dying because my would-be murderers are incompetent. I looked at this human, this member of a species that had barely achieved interstellar travel, who was somehow negotiating while his entire world hung in the balance. And he was smiling. I opened my communicator. Commander Thex? We need to talk. Commander Thex agreed to the terms. He didn't like it. I could tell by the way his vocal sacs inflated to twice their normal size, but he agreed. If Marcus could fix the cannon in the remaining time, Earth would be spared. If he couldn't, well, everyone loses. I led Marcus through the corridors of the endless verdict toward the cannon control room. He kept looking around, taking in the architecture, the technology, the crew members who stopped to stare at the bizarre alien walking freely through our ship. Nice ship, Marcus said casually. Bit sterile for my taste. You guys ever hear of paint? Maybe some plants? We are a military vessel, not a botanical garden. Yeah, I can tell. Everything's very gray and intimidating. Very on brand. We reached the control room. Marcus stepped inside and immediately walked to the main diagnostic panel. His eyes scanned the error codes, the system readouts, the cascade of failures that had taken me 40 minutes to even catalog. Okay, he said after exactly 8 seconds. I see the problem. I felt my secondary heart skip a beat. You see the problem? Already? Yeah. Your magnetic containment field is out of sync with your plasma injector timing. The oscillation is creating a feedback loop that trips your safety systems. Classic phase alignment issue. Yes, I know that. The question is how to fix it in under 90 minutes. Marcus walked over to the main access panel and started examining the physical components. He pulled out a small tool from his pocket, something primitive and mechanical, and began unscrewing the containment housing. What are you doing? I demanded. That requires a complete shutdown sequence. You can't just open the primary housing while the system is active. Watch me. The magnetic fields alone could rip your hand off. Then I'll be more careful. I watched, my 3 eyes wide with horror, as this human simply reached into the most dangerous part of our weapons system like he was checking his mail. He pulled out a component, a small hexagonal regulator about the size of his fist, and held it up to the light. There's your problem, Marcus said, pointing to a tiny cluster of connections on one side. See these contact points? They're corroded. Just a little bit, but enough to throw off your timing by a few microseconds. In a system this sensitive, microseconds matter. Corroded? That's impossible. We use titanium-iridium alloys specifically to prevent corrosion. Yeah, but you're running superheated plasma through magnetic fields in a vacuum with trace amounts of hydrogen. Over time, you get micro-pitting. It's inevitable. He turned the regulator over in his hands. You guys do preventative maintenance, right? I felt my dorsal ridge flush purple again. The maintenance schedule for that component is every 5 years. When was the last time you replaced it? 4 years, 11 months ago. Marcus laughed that barking laugh again. So you were 1 month away from scheduled replacement, and it failed early. Murphy's Law strikes again. Who is Murphy, and why does he have laws? Never mind. Do you have a replacement regulator? Yes, of course, but the replacement procedure requires system cool-down, recalibration of the magnetic containment array, and how long? 6 hours minimum. Marcus looked at the regulator in his hand, then at me, then back at the regulator. Or I could just clean this one. Clean it? Yeah. You got any abrasive compound? Finegrit? Maybe some kind of conductive paste? I stared at him. You want to clean a critical weapons component with abrasive compound? Do you want a cannon to work or not? 20 minutes later, I watched Marcus Holt, engineering specialist from Earth, sitting cross-legged on the floor of our cannon control room, polishing a piece of advanced Caldrith military hardware with what amounted to very fancy sandpaper and conductive gel. He worked with the kind of casual confidence that suggested this was not his first time performing emergency repairs on systems that could kill him. You do this often? I asked. Repair weapons designed to destroy your homeworld? Not specifically, Marcus said, not looking up from his work. But I spent 10 years maintaining fusion reactors on deep-sea mining platforms. Same principle. High-energy systems, low tolerance for error, everything trying to kill you if you mess up. That sounds unpleasant. Yeah, but the pay was good. Plus, you learn real fast how to fix things when you can't just order a replacement part and wait 6 weeks for shipping. He held the regulator up to the light again, examining the contact points. They gleamed now, free of the microscopic corrosion that had caused billions of credits worth of equipment to throw a tantrum. There we go, Marcus said, standing up. Good as new. Better, actually, since now you know to check these every 4 years instead of 5. He walked back to the access panel and, before I could protest, reached back into the active system and reinstalled the regulator. There was a soft click as it seated properly. The error cascades on my diagnostic panel stuttered, flickered, and then, one by one, began to clear. Green lights. All green lights. The planet killer cannon hummed back to life, its systems synchronizing perfectly, the magnetic containment field stable, the plasma injectors primed and ready. 12 seconds. From the moment Marcus touched the regulator to the moment the system came back online. 12 seconds. I checked my chronometer. We still had 47 minutes remaining before the deadline. Commander Thex, I said into my communicator, my voice barely steady. The cannon is operational. There was a long pause. Then Thex's voice came through, sounding almost disappointed. Confirmed. Weapons systems show green across all boards. Another pause. Tell the human he has fulfilled his end of the agreement. Helm, set course out of this system. We're leaving. Marcus was already walking toward the door. He stopped and turned back to look at me, that strange tooth-bearing expression on his face again. You know what the funny part is? He said, What? You could have fixed this yourself. The solution wasn't complicated. You just needed someone willing to try the simple answer instead of overthinking it. He shrugged. That's the thing about humans. We're pretty good at making stuff work, even when it probably shouldn't. Especially when our lives depend on it. Why did you help us? I asked. We came to conquer your world. Marcus laughed one more time. Because you asked nicely. And because I figured if you were desperate enough to ask a prisoner for help, you might be reasonable enough to keep your word. He started walking again. Plus, I really wanted to see the look on your commander's face when a primitive alien fixed his fancy space gun in 12 seconds. I escorted Marcus back to the shuttle bay. As he boarded the transport that would take him back to Earth, he turned and gave me a small wave. Hey, Vorn, next time you guys think about invading someone, maybe check your maintenance schedules first. Save everyone a lot of trouble. The shuttle departed. The endless verdict jumped to faster-than-light travel, leaving Earth's solar system behind. I stood in the shuttle bay for a long time, thinking about corroded regulators and simple solutions, and a species that could laugh in the face of extinction while fixing the weapon pointed at their heads. Humans, I decided, were terrifying. Not because of their weapons, or their warfare, or their capacity for violence, though I'm sure they had plenty of all three. They were terrifying because they could look at the impossible and just shrug and fix it anyway. I made a note in my personal log. If the Caldrith Empire ever encountered humanity again, I would strongly recommend we try diplomacy first, and maybe hire a few human engineers while we were at it. Our maintenance schedules clearly needed work. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.